with the last words on my lips. I am a revolutionary.
Fred Hampton.
The Black Panthers.
The Black Panthers. Yeah, they had right where Walgreens. It was a big building, and they had the. They stayed up there, you know, where they had their meetings and everything, and then downstairs they fed kids and everything.
They had loudspeakers outside the door where they would pipe in to kill the pig. If the pig shoot at me, I'm gonna shoot the pig back. If he harass me, I'm gonna harass him. A couple of times I see the federal government come in and knock the door down at this place over there. Hit that door one morning I was coming in.
They did a job on it.
And but I don't think no charges ever filed. But then they got one rifle or one shotgun out that place at the time. But the time we were speaking about overthrowing the government, you were asking for trouble. If you'd have been here, you could have seen how it was. There were homes across the street where you see those vacant lots was, and they had marksmen on top of those roofs pointing down to that building right there. If anybody tried to come out there, they wouldn't have got very far. There was, I think, a building out in the back that had marksmen on top of it. So it was pretty well covered. I know there were some people that lived upstairs. It was a two-flat similar to this building right here. The lady upstairs, she had two kids. She stayed up on the second floor. It was a miracle that she didn't get killed when the shooting was going on with her kids and everything. But like I said, it lasted about maybe 3-4 minutes. Heavy weapons, and they wasn't playing. The boys had some powerful automatic weapons, though, believe me.
But they didn't.
What was the cops or?
The cops had the automatic. They had a little shotgun and a handgun. That was they got at Fred Hampton's house over there. But they shot whatever that came through my back door.
The police did that.
I said the police were shooting. I'm saying the police had them. I'm telling you, that's what had the heavy weapons. The police had the heavy weapons. Sent two agents to pick me up at my job, taking me downtown, and gave me the 3rd degree.
For what?
Want to know what I know about Fred Hampton? I said it was a nice gentleman from what I met, because I was working. I didn't have time to join his organization. Had a decent job, paying me a decent salary. Didn't have a job to join his organization. I supported him as best I could. I said, I'll give you a little change. I ain't making a whole lot of money, but don't ask me to get in your organization. I said, I've just come back from Vietnam. I'm allergic to lead. It was a weird morning because I said it happened so fast. Like I said, it lasted me about 5 or 6 minutes.
But we know something was going to be going on because prior to that, you know, police would be all in the back and they had telephone men up on the wire like they was looking for something, but they was really focusing, scoping the building and stuff out. We found that out later after we
Well, we saw a strange thing going on. They know your telephone line. I got on public telephone systems. I look at my lines. Get that. I can sound like I'm picking my phone back.
You know, listening.
What do you remember the Black Panthers being about?
They were about helping people.
Helping people. That's what I remember.
At that time, there had been a lot of numerous things happening.
Yeah, you know,
police been stopping black people, roughing them up. You walk down the street for no apparent reason. I see him stop my dad. At the time was in his 70s, going down the street, pulled him over. Stop for no reason. No, where you going, old man? So I'm going to work. I mean, just little hassle things like that to annoy you, pick on you. I mean, again, that was the mindset then.
You know.
I gotta ask you, did you see a change in the police attitudes after the Black Panthers?
A little, not that much.
Yeah,
not that much.
Do you think they did anything? Do you think what they did, the death, all the stuff they did, do you think it made any kind of difference?
It made something. It made most places a lot more aware of what was going on. See, a lot of us,
they did nothing.
There ain't too much you can do when somebody else control the police force. So you can see it every day in the papers. They read police corruption. They busted the gang unit here because police got corrupt. They busted them, taking the drugs from the drug dealers, confiscating the money. They wouldn't turn half the money in. So.
The police come down here and go in a certain house and they sell drugs and they come out and have nobody. And they be smiling like I don't know what possibly because they probably done got their cut or whatever.
Your first thoughts on the whole, what happened next door?
I think,
just to sum it up, like what?
I knew it was going to happen eventually. It was just a matter of time. I knew there was something going to happen over there. So I sit there and watch people. I talked to him. I knew he was watched. They had pictures of me talking to him.
They knew
something was going to happen because they're talking about overthrow. He was organized, but the only difference between him and the people in California is that they had the backup. Big movie stars and everything that supported them. he had some of the back. Some of the preachers around the area didn't like him. You know, so he was this, he was that. Some of the ministers didn't care for him around the area. I know he tried to help the kids go to school by creating a breakfast thing up north for the kids. But you know, a lot of little kids, most times parents didn't have enough food to cook them breakfast sometime. Or they ate cornflakes, if they ate anything at all. He tried to instigate like a little breakfast sandwich thing, give them a sandwich, a cup of milk, or a glass of milk, a carton of milk, to get them to go into school. But he gets that.
My summary is, if he didn't live, well, it was like the 60s now. It would be a different thing right now. He would have more moral support than he had.
A lot more support.
So,
he didn't get all the back support that he should.
60s.
Because he talked about...
60s was still prejudice. It's still prejudice, but not like it was in the 60s.
It was. You got a whole two different generations.
Yeah,
now.
it's
so
generations.
times has changed.
It would be much better now. If he was living now, it would be much better.
I look at the area here now. You should be part of what they call the ghetto.
We have to defend ourselves. We intend to defend ourselves. We've did so in the past, and we're going to do it today, and the day after that, and the day after that. Because only through this proper example of the self-defense and the proper example of retaliation, and by letting these people know that we move from some basic laws, that anything that goes down on the oppressed people, on the part of the oppressor, it should be reciprocal. And in plain proletarian workers' language, it takes two to tango. As soon as these motherfuckers go, we go.